Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside, so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Bum.
Yes, season's greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And welcome to Christmas in July, the show where we review a Christmas special, at least one Christmas special, sometimes multiple Christmas specials, because we're crazy like that. But we review at least...
Yes. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, at least one a day for the entire month of July. Oh, God. And guess what, Blue Dragon 5? It is the 15th. So that means, calendar-wise, we are about half over, but not really because there's 31 days in the month. So technically, we still have 16 days to go. Oh, yeah. God. So I guess tomorrow will technically be right in the center. 15 days gone, 15 to go.
Yeah.
So, so you holding in there, buddy?
Yeah.
All right. Still have the holiday cheer. I guess that's kind of the big test. It's like, can we maintain the cheer all month long as we review all these specials?
Yeah.
All right. So we are here tonight to do our third Nickelodeon special. We've already reviewed the Hey Arnold Christmas special. That was actually our first Christmas in July episode. And then last week we took a look at the eggnog-tastic Fairly Odd Parents Christmas special, Christmas Every Day.
Mine!
Nog. And now we're here to look at a very understated Christmas special. Like, this is a really emotional episode, but it doesn't really hit you over the head with anything. And it's from a show that me and Blue Dragon 5 can both agree is pretty damn underrated. Today we're going to be talking about the very deceptively titled, As Told by Ginger, an Even Steven holiday special. What's up with that? Was Even Stevens a thing back when As Told by Ginger was airing? If so, very poor choice of title, I must say. Oh, God. Okay, but yeah, Blue Dragon 5, I say it's safe to say, let's start the show by, let's just kind of talk a little bit about our general feelings about As Told by Ginger. So what were your first memories with the show?
Well, I mean, just watching this special, I mean, bear in mind, it's been so long since I've watched As Told by Ginger, an episode as Told by Ginger.
It's not necessarily something men in their 20s tend to marathon these days.
Well, the main reason I haven't really watched is that they don't repeat on that at the 90s, bringing back the 90s on.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just because
I think it was a little bit more late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, certainly. Well, the point is, it's because it's been off the air, and I haven't really pursued it that much on the internet. That's the main reason I haven't really been watching it. I mean, it was a good show. Maybe if I had more access to it, I might be talking about it a little more. But I do a lot of nostalgic memories came back to me just when I saw that opening, because basically it's been so long yet it was still ingrained in my mind every single detail from that series.
Oh yeah.
Just hearing that "Grass is Greener" song at the beginning. Well, that's a good opening because it does kind of sell you on the series right in the opening.
Yeah, it really does, and you get to see, like, you really quickly get to see kind of all the dynamics. I think there's a little bit of, does Dodie get jealous over something in the opening for, like, a brief second?
I think so. I remember Courtney's brother, isn't there, like, a brother Brandon or something?
It's, Blake.
Oh, Blake, right.
Yeah.
Brandon's the other one. I was thinking Blake is, like, spying on Carl and Hoodsey in the doghouse, or the doghouse lair. Like, stuff like that. It just ends with Ginger looking into her journal where she writes in kind of Carrie style.
Yeah, the thing I most remember is when Ginger and Dodie and Macy are on the corner of the school, and Ginger's mother pulls up. And,
that was
in the car that's wrecked.
I would argue that's the best moment, because that just kind of sums up kind of the angle they're going for with the show.
Yeah.
Life doesn't work out as swimmingly as you might think it does.
Right.
At least on TV. usually. But overall, just the memories coming back to that series. I just remembered it was different than your average Nickelodeon show. It was really, I mean, Nickelodeon shows were kind of breaking bounds with each show in terms of, they were all different. They all kind of said something different about either childhood or just kind of about what you could do in animation. And SYWTBAI Ginger was kind of taking the teen show and kind of giving it a Nickelodeon slang, just kind of examining it with a narrative comedy and a little satire here and there.
Yeah, that was the basic idea with the show for sure. Definitely Carl and Hoodsey were the characters that were supposed to be like, hey, look, boys can get into this show too. Yeah. And I must say it worked for me because I was very much a fan of their antics as a kid. As a matter of fact, Blue Dragon 5, do you remember, did you ever go on to Nick.com at all as a kid?
I did, but I don't think I really looked at anything regarding Ginger that much, though.
Okay, but did you ever go on the message board?
No, not the message board. Sorry.
Okay. Well, yes, I was a patron of the message boards. As a matter of fact, it was my first message board. It's probably a lot of people's first message board these days.
I was just a gamer on there.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, now it's... But I remember my username on there was HoodsCarl1. Oh, very clever. And, I was, like, the resident, like, staunch defender of, like, all the, I don't know, like, people, even people on the Nick.com forums back in the day didn't really like As Told by Ginger that much, but I was like, no, it's like, I'm a guy and I like this show. It's really good. Forget about the fact that it's mostly aimed about, that most of the characters are girls. It's like, who cares? They're really good characters, there's lots of interesting dynamics going on. I
remember sympathizing with the Ginger character times. I like how she's kind of put in these precarious situations that like real life families would go through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was a lot of real life family stuff going on, as we'll explore in this episode certainly. But I don't know. It's like when I was telling Adventure Blue Dude last night that I was going to review this. He said like, "Oh God, great! You chose the worst of the Klasky Kushbo," and I'm like, I very much disagree. I mean, I love Klasky Kushbo. I really do.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh God, I don't.
I know because I'm just saying because I always see that name and I never had to pronounce it. I've never tried to pronounce. Just to clarify, it's like the thing comes at the end of the Rugrats episode.
I mean, for the record, all grown up, easily worst Klasky Kushbo show.
Yeah, I'll admit, All Grown Up had a lot of weak episodes.
Yeah. And I don't know. To tell you the truth, I would not argue that this show is not as good as either Rocket Power or Wild Thornberrys, because I have mad nostalgia for both those shows. And I don't know. I'm not sure about I think Rocket Power, we've had the discussion about Rocket Power before. I think Rocket Power holds up because it's charmingly 90s. Like, it holds up as a product of its time.
Yeah, remember when we thought skateboarding would be around forever, or at least be as popular as it was forever?
Tony Hawk was like the big thing on the market.
I mean, the last thing I remember Tony Hawk being a part of, aside from Rock Power, was like he was helping out on, I think, on It's a Goofy Movie 2 and Tarzan. That was the last thing I ever heard about Tony Hawk.
Oh, God. He had a ride named after him at my local Six Flags park. Which
also, he had a video game I played once. I didn't like it, so I sent it back.
The ride got changed. The ride changed names one season later, and then it closed another season after that. So, yeah, well done, Tony Hawk. That's some that's some good staying power. Okay, but anyways, with Rocket Power, I think it's got a lot of charm. It kind of, I feel like it dealt with a lot of the same issues as told by Ginger, except with an extreme sports perspective. Oh my God!
However,
and extreme sports.
The thing you gotta give Ginger points for is that they played a lot. They played it really grounded.
Definitely, for sure.
Which is a gutsy move on Nickelodeon's part. They go like that, and I'd say it pays off in terms of how memorable the show is. When you do, I'm saying I think it's because it doesn't get repeated or really talked about. When people, well, like myself, I'm just making the assumption that when they kind of they remember it, then they kind of floods back with all the kind of the interesting memories. Like, oh yeah, you never saw that anymore. They don't do that anymore on TV, or they didn't continue doing it after that show.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, for the most part, the show could have been completely live action.
Pretty much, yeah.
Think of it like it's almost kind of like a little.
It's kind of like that philosophy of you do animation to do things you can't do in live action, but you can also do it. You do the flip of that, make as long as you make compelling animation feel like live action. It's an equally challenging feat.
Definitely.
But one thing, a reason in terms of the look in the animation, that kind of is another reason I haven't really gone back to Ginger. So it's kind of a gripe against the series. The design,
yeah.
and this, it does remind. I was reminded of it watching this. Because, again, it's been a long time, so I kind of forgot like some of the characters looked like intensely, mainly like Dodie. And, yeah, the designs, they're either hit or a miss when you really look at them, especially now. Again, it's been years since I watched Ginger pretty much until it was off the air. And
my defense, they're awkward as hell teenage girls, and they're designed to be awkward as hell teenage girls.
Yeah, it's just like
so
the noses.
Pretty much.
It's the spacing of like the noses and the lips, like from the nose down to the lips. Like there's too big a space.
Big lips, definitely. Yeah.
Like Hoodsey's design is really. I forgot
I like
how.
Hoodsey.
No, I like the character. I'm just saying. No,
I'll disagree with you there. I really like the fact that he's got the hood on most of the time, and then when he doesn't have the hood on, his hair is like all straight and proper.
No, I mean that. No, I like the costuming and that. I mean, just the design in terms of he has like the weird chapped lips and like the tooth sticking out.
Yeah, I hear you. And the weird bulbous nose.
Yeah, I'm saying stuff like designs like that. And also like Dodie's design, like the lip is like stretched way down there, and like the head.
Oh God, yeah.
So I'm saying,
yeah.
Like certain designs are either hit or a miss, but overall, I mean, they're good. Like I like Ginger's design. It works with the voice. I think it's. I'm saying some of that's hit or miss, and that's like another reason that kind of like sometimes the thing that's stuck in my mind when I remember the series is sometimes the odd look of it, and that maybe subconsciously is a reason I didn't go back to it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was good storytelling. I give it that. However, I think towards the end they kind of maybe spent a little too much time on the whole like romantic. Well, not. I guess romantic stuff.
I mean that's definitely like. I remember that's definitely what their specials were geared towards.
I think they oversold that whole summer movie thing.
Oh yeah.
Like she meets a guy at camp or something, then they bring him into the series, and he's gone. The Sasha character, like I don't know.
Yeah. I always thought the most interesting romantic interest in the show was always Darren, and it was interesting particularly in the fact that they were really more friends than anything else, and I always like the fact that the show played at that.
And they poke fun at the whole cliche.
Yeah. And the one episode that they did kind of go into romantic territory, they kind of both agreed, like, yeah, it's awkward as hell. I'm like, yeah, bravo, you are not Simba and Nala. Like, you understand the fundamentals of if you are friends since childhood, it generally can get kind of awkward.
Yeah.
All right. So is that all we have to say about the series in general?
I guess just kind of a smidge of a premise for people who are unfamiliar. It's a smidge of what would normally happen since we're going into Christmas territory or holiday territory here.
Yeah, sure.
So your average episode would pretty much be Ginger. She goes to like Ginger's pretty much your average teen girl, and growing up, kind of going through those. Well, I don't want to just say hardships. Going through the transitional years, going with her friends, like getting ready for the big dance or whatever, like going through like a science project or so forth. That's actually more so the science project plots are with Carl and Hoodsey, who are like in a younger grade, and they're usually causing mischief of some kind per Carl's grand design with their rich nemesis, Blake. Ginger has her own, not so much rich nemesis, but kind of rich, I want to say anti-hero almost, but kind of like...
She is like an anti-hero, yeah,
it's like really she's mean? I mean, no, not mean. I mean, she's like ignorant to things. She's a rich girl, doesn't really think through her actions.
And she's easily manipulated by
the real villain, Miranda.
Yeah.
So the point is, it's they play like a real life teen girl, going through life experiences, and she writes it down in the journal, kind of Sex and the City Carrie style, pretty much.
Oh God.
But they made it work though, and they play the satires like that. Darren, he climbs to the window and they rap for a few minutes talking about like what they've learned or what's going on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, stuff like that. And usually there'll be a life lesson she'll write down in the journal at the end, and they sell you on the journal. Because did they ever publish that journal? Because they said she was a writer. Because they said she was a writer at times, or she tried writing, like she wrote this poem about some forgotten girl or something, I remember.
Oh, yeah, right.
I remember, like, the thing that stuck out to me, the scariest episode I was told about Ginger, or at least they sold it as scary, because that's what always stuck in my mind as a kid. The mold episode, because they sold the mold like it was a monster movie. Basically, they find mold, and, like, everyone's in hazmat gear.
Oh God! Breaking Bad connection.
Yeah. Basically, I remember like Ginger specifically. She wanted her little her journal out of there. So. Yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty much your premise for As Told by Ginger. Now we're delving into Holly Special. It should be prevalent to note that Daddy Dearest is not in the series. He is absent, and I believe here is our first indication of what has happened to him.
I mean, he's definitely in a few episodes. I think this is probably...
I thought it was after this.
What?
I thought he appeared after this, or at least...
Yeah, he does appear after this, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, up until this point, this is the first time he's appeared, so yeah.
I can't recall when this episode was, but there is an episode where he's like talked about, basically he doesn't come through for her with some flowers, and the mother signs the... Lois Foutley signs his bouquet of flowers for, I don't know if it was for her graduation or getting an A on something, getting recognition of some kind. But she got this bouquet of flowers signed, from your father, and apparently the mother forged that so she wouldn't feel bad.
Aww.
So, I don't know if that was before his introduction or after, but the point is, they play really realistically with this guy.
They really do. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Anyway, so I guess that's it, so we can pretty much just jump in. You take us through, Dickie.
Right. And also, it's worth noting that the voice actress who plays Ginger is none other than Melissa Disney, who we're not sure about the connection. Your theory is that it's Diane Disney's granddaughter, but we're not completely sure about that.
Or the other Disney, the daughter. I can't quite recall her name. The adopted Disney daughter.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't quite recall what her relation is. I'm just guessing granddaughter of one of the Disney daughters.
Sure.
She herself kept the name Disney, where her parents did not. So. I don't know. It's my guess, but she is definitely a descendant of Walt.
Want the name Disney.
And I thought I always liked her as the voice of Ginger. She was good.
No, she definitely works, and I'm kind of surprised that I never recognized the name Disney in the opening credits. I really am. Okay, but anyways, after the intro that we've already talked about,
which is the grass is green on the other side song.
Oh yes, performed by Macy Gray.
Again, just sends all those nostalgic memories to my head. Just
remember when they changed the song?
Did they?
Yeah, and some generic white singer sang it.
Well, I think it's the same song, just someone else sings it, right?
Exactly, but it's not Macy Gray.
I just remember it was like the female singer with kind of the weird effects on it, like
it's Macy Gray. The Macy Gray version was so much better. Oh God.
Well, which one did we have for this episode? Is this the
Macy Gray? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Macy Gray, you will forever be remembered for Spider-Man and the As Told by Ginger theme song.
Well, this is the one I remember from my nostalgia.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so anyways, we get a little intro of the town, Jingle Bells playing on electric guitar and whatnot, and we see Ginger in the Foutley household, and she's working on a creative little idea for a class project, which is a Christmas family tree.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Did you ever have to do anything like this as a kid in school?
Not in the slightest. But it's a cute idea, though, putting on a little Christmas tree. It's nice.
So, we get right away the feeling that, oh boy, there's only 3 pictures, so very small family, that's projected right away in the episode, and it's going to really hit home.
Some neat foreshadowing.
Oh, yes, and she's like, Mom, I need a picture of Dad, and, I think Lois Foutley, she kind of just avoids the question, and she's just like, oh, well, let me see. And And then there's the picture of the grandpa, who
Grandfather.
I don't think he's ever named, but
No, they might have given him like Grandpa Fatley, but it might have been a...
well, yeah, I think that was about it, because I was specifically looking for a name to write it down, and I didn't hear anything, but
Anyway, so let's see. She makes a discovery. Kate. What's that discovery?
well, the discovery is that the grandfather is Jewish, which means Ginger is 1/4 Jewish. Oh
Yes.
my god. And she just flips her shit over this.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you though. I mean, I don't think kids get super excited about being Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, no disrespect to Judaism at all, but it's...
Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay then. Okay, I'm Jewish. 1/4. I'm saying it's 1/4 Jewish, which I mean it's substantially the 1/16 Cherokee or something. But you know,
exactly. It's like, I don't know. Maybe if she found out that. It's like, first of all,
you find out you're half
definitely has
Jewish,
a distinct Jewish look and accent to her.
Yeah,
So it's
I mean, her mother does kind of have more of a New Yorker shtick, but one could stretch that into maybe some Jewish heritage. Who knows?
Yeah.
I forget which side of her is Jewish. If it's the mother's side or the father's side, but
It's the mother's side.
Oh, it is. Huh.
Yeah.
So that's her father then in the picture.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
I could be wrong about that, but
Yeah. Well, let me think here. So, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just thinking that. So yeah, she's 1/4 Jewish. I mean, she's half Jewish. I'd understand more of a visceral reaction, but I'm just saying, I'm not knocking. I'm just a little taken off guard. Oh man, she's really psyched about being Jewish. I mean,
it's just like it's just rocking her world.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That kind of ties into a potential flaw of the episode, that she gets a little too overhyped about Judaism, but they call it, that's part of the episode's plot, so let's keep going.
Yeah, okay, so meanwhile we see the two best characters in the episode, probably, Carl and Hoodsey. And they are
they're gathering canned goods with Carl's portable can opener, which I gotta admit, this I do remember from Special way back in the day. That was a little cool device how the cord would snap back into the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, always having the cord snap back, that's always a good thing.
Essentially the idea is get some canned goods, use it on there just for the fun of it, and then basically sell the canned goods for change. Recycle them for change, or however that works.
Sounds like a typical Carl plot.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, Hoodsey is writing his letter to Santa in a very Mikey-esque style. I noticed that Mikey is kind of coming up as like our go-to Christmas figure more and more.
You say Mikey, I say I think a little more Linus from the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, but fair enough. Or Sally from. Still, Sally wrote the Santa Claus too. So.
Yeah, I guess I'm just kind of thinking more in terms of the specials we've actually reviewed.
I just keep thinking of the Peanuts characters writing, and then you see the words above their heads.
Right. But
anyway, yeah. So I should mention, Hoodsey is voiced by the famous Tress MacNeille. Babs Bunny, Dot from Animaniacs, a lot of voice roles.
Oh yeah.
So he's writing the Santa Claus.
So yes, he's writing to Santa Claus, and he wants the gift of rhythm.
What's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of?
It bookends the episode practically too.
It does. You know what it reminds me of, Tiki? If anyone has ever seen the movie The Jerk, essentially what gets Navin Johnson, Steve Martin's character, reminds him that he's white and not a poor black child.
Mm-hmm.
His words, is that he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he could never get the rhythm to the black people music. And it's not jazz or anything. It's like jug bands. I don't know. It's whatever the music was, but he hears classical music, and he's snapping and tapping his foot in place, and he wakes everyone else like, "Ma, I got it! I can dance to this music." That just reminds me of getting rhythm.
But yes, Hoodsey, he really doesn't like the fact that he doesn't have any rhythm. He's like, "It's just disgusting, Carl." Oh God. And there's also a nice gag where Hoodsey's mother comes in, knocks on. Well, she doesn't come in. She knocks on the door. She's like, "Hoodsey, where are my canned goods?" And
I'm doing my homework.
Oh my. Well, carry on.
Yeah, I remember Hoodsey's mom could get grating at times, but at times she was funny, like this.
Yeah. Oh God. So then Hoodsey and Carl, they get into kind of a philosophical debate about the existence of Santa Claus, and Carl, he's a firm non-believer, but Hoodsey, he's like, well, first of all, he shows him a picture, and Carl's like, well, that's just a picture of your dad.
I love that foreshadowing, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That's brilliant foreshadowing.
And but Hoodsey's like, oh yeah, well if it's my dad, Carl, then how can he appear in Miracle on 31st Street and
34th Street.
34th Street, I'm sorry. And the Macy's and the Macy's Christmas parade.
I love that logic that he's saying, well, how can he be there, Carl? Come on.
Duh.
That's so funny.
So anyways, Carl, he leaves the room and he bets the electric can opener that there's no such thing as Santa. And
the point is, Hoodsey's unconvinced that there is no Santa. Of course, he believes firmly there is singles and will prove it to you, Carl.
Oh yes. And as Carl walks out, he's like, well, what am I supposed to do with all these vegetables?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So meanwhile, Ginger is on the phone with Dodie and Macy, and she is so stoked about being Jewish that she's considering changing her damn name.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Come on, really, just slow down. Just hit the brakes on this a little bit.
Again, we're gonna give Ginger a pass because it's the holidays and they do buy it back in the end. But still, I mean, come on, changing your name, that's going a little. I mean, you're 1/4, okay, 1/4 over 1/2. I want to make that clear. 1/2's a life, a half's a life change. 1/4, not so much.
I don't even know if a half would even be that. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of cool, that's, I don't think it'd necessarily be like, okay, I'm going to go out and change my name immediately.
Okay, regardless, name is still a ridiculous measure, but still, I'm saying half at least justifiably maybe some questions about yourself you never knew until this point, like, do I have these certain traits or whatnot, and yeah.
Oh God, so Ginger, she has to go, and so Dodie and Macy are very worried. Well, Dodie's the one who's worried because this is her typical shtick. You want to explain Dodie's shtick?
I guess Dodie's shtick would be I guess she's kind of the filter for all the teen problems. She's going to motivate the plot. If not for Courtney, she would motivate the plot, saying what kind of teens are worried about nowadays, or like, oh, you got to get ready for the Ginger, snap out of it. You got to get ready for the dance or whatever, or you got to face the real life issue. Like, this is the gossip that's going around there. Or, ooh, we're not going to be best friends anymore after this.
Well, yeah, that's mostly what I was referring to. She is very clingy and overprotective.
Yeah, so she's. I think again, if it could be an intentional satire, and this can have how teens can be. And
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's just a character trait, but
it's a little overemphasized in the special. I mean, like I'm saying, literally the instant after she hangs up the phone, she's panicking.
I think it's a little overemphasized in the series in general.
Yeah, I like how Macy's though. She's taking a little more calm, cool, lefty, and she's like reining her back in, saying, "Hey, listen, no, Ginger is fine. She's a little overzealous now. It'll pass."
Oh yeah. And so meanwhile, back at the Foutley household.
I'm sorry, just to emphasize, she's saying like we're gonna be distant emotionally forever, and we'll never be friends again. So she's overreacting big time.
Oh yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, some of the behavior that Ginger exhibits later in the episode, yeah, I would kind of be a little bit like, okay, what's up, brah?
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was one of my friends, I was like, really? Like, you're not going to do this thing that we do every year? Really? For religious purposes?
Anyway, continuing.
Okay, so anyways, so the Fatleys are at the dinner table. They're discussing what they're going to have for Christmas Eve, and Carl suggests, well, why don't we just do Chinese takeout again? And Lois is like, no, that loses its kish if we do it 2 years in a row.
Oh, actually, something I forgot to mention. Something very important about that scene with Dodie and Macy. Dodie is so panicked, she brings up the notion before Macy reins her back in, of maybe basically the idea of converting to Judaism herself.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Which is an extreme measure. So these girls are going
God.
to the extremes around the holidays, except for Macy.
Yeah, Macy's like the most logical one in the whole episode.
Oh, yeah. Just wanted to point that out, that she was going to the lengths of, oh, now I'm going to have to convert to keep Ginger as a friend.
Oh, God.
Anyway, continuing on. Sorry. They're at the dinner table and asking about Chinese.
Okay, so, let's see.
Essentially, Ginger is going to bring up the notion of celebrating Hanukkah.
Yeah, so, so after a very funny line about Lois, Lois is like, well, to tell you the truth, I was never religious about anything. Except for, what is the thing that she's really, all I got was it holiday sauce, or is it another sauce? Holiday sauce?
No, Holland. Okay, hold it. It's Holland sauce.
Oh, Holland sauce. What is that?
I don't know.
You have no idea?
I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, it's easy on the lips, but loose on the hips.
It's a lifetime on the hips, Tiki.
Lifetime on the hips.
It's a minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. And I gotta say though, I kind of share Lois's philosophy about the holidays.
Right.
To some degree, I'm saying it's like anything you've learned. If we've learned anything in these Christmas specials, it's really mainly because the networks can get overly religious. But I mean, more so, it's the holidays are just taken for what they are. It's just being together around the holidays, and just enjoying like a time to take it easy. Peace in the world. Just like look back to like that ceasefire on Christmas. Like the whole hey, it's Christmas time. Let's call a truce for now. Let's take it easy for a day. Bygones be bygones. Let's just celebrate the fact we're all here on this earth together.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't have to over-religiousize. You don't have to over-religiousize Christmas. You just bask in the holidays and just the cheer around this certain day.
Yeah, definitely. Well said. And,
anyway,
okay, so
Lois is game for it. So Lois says, why not?
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think of this idea? Do you think it's going too far? Do you think like it's kind of appropriate? We're 1/4 Jewish, so why not?
Well, I mean, Lois said, well, the only reason we do Christmas is it's usually cost effective. I mean, we could do Hanukkah just to change it up. I don't see why not.
Sure.
Well, I get basically just kind of going with traditions and stuff usually, now that she's not uber tied down to it like others, but she's kind of saying, why not? Lois is an easygoing mother usually.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Lois is definitely one of the good cartoon moms. I mean, she really is. Especially given the circumstances, they're definitely kind of a lower middle class kind of family. Okay, but anyways, so yes, the family, they're going to celebrate Hanukkah. Meanwhile, back at the Bishop household,
I love this scene. We're at the Bishop's family, and we see they embrace him. I like how Hoodsey brings it up to his father, asking him if he was in the. Well, he asked basically, is there a Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I love the parents, and again, sometimes the mother will rub you the wrong way. Usually, like that episode, she gets food poisoning. She's kind of irritating.
Oh God.
But usually, I mean, cases like this, it's a half and half on her. But particularly in this case, you really like her in that she. Again, the parents are fully embracing of Santa Claus, and the father says, well, Santa. It's going to make it look a little naughty for those non-believers saying, no, I believe, but Carl doesn't. And then the mother walks in saying...
She takes the opportunity to get a good jab in on Carl because she thinks he's a bad influence.
Yeah, exactly. So he basically says, well, Carl's probably been annoyed. No, he's got cool stuff before.
But didn't wish for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Again, props for the mother of this episode. She really won me over this one.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the doubt that's planted in Hoodsey's head. Oh my!
I like how the parents are celebrating. They got a good kid, so they're not popping the bubble or anything.
Yeah, sure.
Which is nice.
So that's in Hoodsey's head. Did Carl get his wish?
Yes.
So let's see. So anyways,
so now we're back. We're now in the library. I think it's the
Yes.
school's library of Ginger and the gang. They're working on their family tree project. But now
is this where we
Ginger,
get like the split-second cameo from Miranda and Courtney?
no, it's later on.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Point is, Ginger's, again, it's a little on the nose. She's reading from a little book with the Star of David on it. So we.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, I think she's being a little bit rude. It's just like she's sitting with her friends, and she's just like, "Gosh, like, stop bothering me. I'm trying to study up on my heritage." It's just like, "What's with you in my face?" I'm just like, "Shut up."
Well, I didn't.
Shut up.
I might be remembering it a little. Differently. I didn't see her like.
Well, Jody just basically asked her, like, "So, are you gonna come over to make cookies?" And Ginger, she essentially like snaps at Dodie. She's just like, "Gosh, Dodie, I'm trying to read my freaking Jewish heritage book."
Well,
you know?
I don't know. I guess I forgot that part. I mean, I knew she was reading, and I knew she kind of blew Dodie off to what she wants to do around the holidays. But
no, I thought her attitude was really bad. I made note of that.
I might have just forgotten that part. So you might be entirely right on that, because I know at some point she basically says, "Nah, against as you have said, you know, she's against the trees because of religious."
Well, that's when she's talking to Dreidel Kid, but we'll get
okay,
there.
so yeah, that's the thing. I'm probably thinking of that. I guess I forgot that part of the scene.
Well, I mean, I just think Ginger's attitude just gets increasingly shitty as the episode goes on, and you know, like we said, that's kind of the point. It definitely gets called out by the end, so we can give it a pass that way.
What I do remember in this scene is that Dodie is. It kind of struck me as funny. It struck me funny, especially given where Ginger's going to discover later in the episode about herself.
Oh.
Is that Dodie's worried about offending her. She's being very PC about trying not to offend Ginger now that she's Jewish, and I thought it was funny.
And also we're introduced to Macy's. Do I have the name down? Do you have the name?
It's Aunt something or other.
Yeah. I thought I wrote the name.
Is it with an M, like Aunt Mavis or something? I don't know.
It sounds about right.
Something asthmatic.
Wait, Aunt Bridget.
Okay, let me strike that from the record then. Bridget.
And we find out that Aunt Bridget, she got rich, and first of all, she bears a very striking resemblance to Macy.
Yeah.
Oh my. But anyways, we find out. I love this little gag, Blue Dragon 5. I don't even know if you caught it, but we find out that that Macy's aunt got rich by inventing the first diet OJ called Low J. Did you even catch that? I caught it like the second time.
Low J. So it's diet OJ?
Yes, it's diet orange juice.
Well, I mean, I myself drink diet orange soda, but diet OJ. How do you Is there sugar usually in oranges? Can you filter it out of juice? Can you filter? I mean,
wouldn't that just be simply orange?
Well, I mean, it's coming from the orange itself. So just you squeeze in the orange, you get the juice. So, hence the fresh squeeze. I don't know. Anyway, so also we should mention that Dodie put together again, a fear of offending Ginger. She put together
oh God,
a welcome to Judaism bag.
Which does nothing but offend Ginger.
I guess that's why she's. Maybe it's a little smidge justified why she's. I mean, not at all should she be snapping your friend for doing something nice, but still, I mean.
Well, no, she snaps at her before she gives her the bag.
Okay. For some reason, I'm blanking on that.
Her for asking if they're gonna make cookies together. I'm like, jeez.
So forgive me, I'm just blanking on that part. I remember her saying, "I'm thinking of the next scene. That must be it then."
Yeah, but
who doesn't want to make cookies around the holidays?
I know, right? Just for God's sakes, just make a Star of David, and there you're good.
Something. Actually, they do that later on.
Right.
Something actually I do around the holidays, usually Halloween and Christmas. I make either a snowman cake or a ghost cake.
Do you want to build a snowman cake?
No, your snow cake. Do you want to build a snow cake?
All right, all right. So,
Continuing on.
yeah.
So we're in the doghouse, literally.
Right, right. Such a
You
really
know,
good setting.
yeah, I gotta say, I always liked the barbershop chair in the doghouse.
No, yeah, for sure. It just seems like
That's a
something
cool
like a
little.
little kid would salvage.
That's like a cool layer thing. It's like it's close you're ever gonna get to a Doctor Evil type chair when you're a kid.
Right, right. It's like, you could just picture these two just like seeing a barber shop or a barber chair just in the dumpster or something and just grabbing it and bringing it back to the doghouse. There's got to be an interesting little backstory behind that barber chair. But anyways, so basically with this scene, Hoodsey, he's just trying to ask Carl what he wished for on Christmas, and Carl's just like, I told you, Hoodsey, I don't believe in Santa, so I didn't wish for anything. And Hoodsey, he's like, well, what about when you were little? And Carl, this is where we get into the big heart of the episode. Carl's just like, well, sure, I believed when I was little, and maybe I had this dumb Christmas wish that my dad would come and visit for the holidays, but hey, no dad, hence no Saint Nick. And then Hoodsey, he very, very poignantly, when Carl walks out of the room, he's like, well, I don't think that's a dumb wish, Carl. I don't think that's a dumb wish at all. And it's a really nice moment. And so they go to recycle the cans. Oh God. And so then we get kind of an exterior shot of the house.
No, before that, there was like a talk between Ginger and Lois about Hanukkah foods.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm just about to get to.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tiki. I thought you were jumping to the best scene.
No, I'm saying Carl goes out to do the cans.
Right. Sorry. Continue.
So anyways, yeah, we get an exterior shot of this house that's all decked out for Christmas, and then with some nice Jewish music playing, we get a contrast to the Foutley household that's very traditional, and once again, Ginger's attitude continues to deteriorate as she's snapping at her mother like, no, these should be your matzo balls are more like matzo crescent moons. And again, I'm like, shut up, just shut up. I'm sorry, but Ginger really annoys me this episode.
Well, okay, that's a fun joke, though. He's saying, well, he's just pointing out they look a little like crescent moons. She's not complaining about it. She's just saying, oh, it's kind of funny. They look like crescent moons.
No, I got the tone that she was complaining, but maybe that's just me, and maybe I was in a bad attitude to begin with.
Look, if she wants to complain, she can make them herself.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming she's not complaining, otherwise, then she'd be making them herself.
All right.
Anyway, continuing forward. So, I think we get to the best scene now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, you want to take us through this?
Oh, sure, I love this scene.
Yeah.
So we see, your typical charity Santas. You have the ones with the bell ringing Santa Claus next to the red buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Usually for the Salvation Army or charity or something.
Yeah, usually hanging outside of grocery stores.
Usually, or a street corner occasionally. Usually in New York around street corners.
Sure.
But essentially, let's see. So they walk by and they see Santa Claus by a street corner, and like Carl. Carl sees like an opportunity for something. You remember what Carl goes off to do in the meantime? Yeah. Is he just recycling the cans, or is there something else?
Yeah, I think it's got to be something to do with the cans, because the cans are just like the running thing through the episode.
Yeah, like the main thing is Carl, his character, he's a big old opportunist.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always looking for a way to scheme or make a buck.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so Carl leaves for a second while Hoodsey says, "Yeah, I'll catch up to you later," or something. Mm. Meanwhile, Hoodsey sees Santa Claus, and he runs up Santa Claus, and he talks to him, and essentially he's saying, mind you, Santa Claus looked in the direction of the kids, and he saw who they were.
Yeah, and that's very subtle. Oh man.
Yeah. And he kind of notices something, and then Hoodsey comes over and he's talking to Santa Claus, and he says, "Oh, hey, Santa, listen, it's Hoodsey, and I came here and need to talk to you about my friend. Hey, wasn't that Carl?" He says, "Yeah, Santa, that is Carl." And then basically saying, he has a problem. I mean, worried about my buddy. He doesn't believe in you for some reason, because he wished every year that his father would come back, and he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could maybe work hard this year and make that happen. Can you do that? Then I think Santa Claus says something along the lines of, "I'll try to make that happen, but look, I'm actually Carl's," and then they're interrupted by
Oh,
Brandon
God.
Brandon Higsby or
Higsby, yeah.
Higsby, who was just showing you the talent of the wonderful Gray Delisles as the most annoying kid in the world, who you just want to, well,
Oh, I
you
won't
really
deny
don't.
that it's the most annoying kid in the world.
Yes.
And
You
I won't
want
deny that Gray Delisles is talented for delivering that, but...
Oh yeah. I remember Gray Delisles. I have a funny story about Gray Delisles, as told by Ginger, by the way, real quick.
Sure.
Actually, Gray Delisles revealed the story once that she was up for the part of Ginger initially.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to get it until Melissa Disney came into the picture, and then she got the role of Brand Higsby on a regular basis, and she was so sad that she didn't get Ginger. And she met Melissa Disney, I think, and she basically had the feigned happiness. Says, "Oh, good, you got the role, yeah." Not that she wasn't really happy for it, she really wanted that job.
Oh, God. Oh,
leading the popular teen series, yeah.
Well, I mean, and not to mention being straddled with the role of Brandon Higsby. Oh, God.
Yeah, but yeah, Great Loss, just hearing her do this.
She does her thing, and she's very distinct with the role, but that doesn't make it any less annoying.
Exactly. That's just showing you, if you hate this kid, she's doing a wonderful job. That's the thing.
Fair enough.
So, the point is, you want to
God, when he comes up, he's like, "Oh, hello, St. Nicholas."
Essentially, you want to drown the kid in the snow.
Yeah, I was just going to say punch the kid out, but yeah, drown the kid. That sounds much better.
In the snow, which is a slower death. You know, yeah, and I got to tell you, though, and I don't want to get shot over this, but I think they might be kind of implying that the kid is...
yeah, I kind of got the same feeling, too, to tell you the truth.
And to quote Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that might be what they're going for, just because they give him the eyelashes and the look, and looks like they might be implying either that or he's just a a really weird kid.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you, like,
he has a monkey, and he tap dances, and he has a monkey, so yeah.
Oh god, right. I don't know.
Point is, so the kid's annoying, and it's so funny is that he's such an annoying delivery. And Great Loss is so good making this kid so annoying.
Oh god, it's like
he says. Hoodsey says, "Beat it, Brain. I'm talking to Santa. Santa Claus is for everyone."
You can't hog him. What guy playing Santa would not want that kid away from him as soon as
Brandon Higsby's a kid that makes you want to sterilize the human race. If we're gonna get to that.
Children of Men territory. Brandon Higsby caused Children of Men to happen.
If we're gonna get kids like Brandon, I think it's a 50-50 shot of failure, so we're gonna cut our losses there.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
this podcast got surprisingly dark.
we'll buy it back. We'll buy it back. It's Ginger. That's bound to happen. So anyway, so let's see. So basically, the funny thing happens at Santa Claus because he's really interested with Hoodsey's saying. He's relates to him big time. He's saying, yeah, "Come on, Brandon, beat it. I have a Merry Christmas." Brandon jaw drops like, "What?"
Well, you're not as attractive in person.
Oh God. So then Brandon leaves for a moment. Mm-hmm. But then importantly, so yeah, he was interrupted saying, "I'm Carl's." So we can probably just say it here, right? We can pretty much just say it here what the reveal is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we pretty much teased it already. So in actuality, it's really a clever idea that this Santa Claus is in fact Carl's father.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he pretty much said it right there. He was interrupted, but you hear him say, "Fuck."
Yeah.
So again, good, clever reveal. It's giving us some information to go off of later, which is really neat. So this guy,
it's actually revealed by when a coworker walks up, another guy in the Santa.
Foutley he calls him
Foutley. Yeah. Sure. And he asks, "You got any kids?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, I got a boy, a daughter, and a son on the way."
Yeah. I love. Well, before that though, so point is our Santa Foutley here. He says, "Well, I'll try my best to do that." And then Hoodsey says, "Oh, thanks, Santa," which is a nice moment. I just like that. You know something a little more about the scene, but you're still kind of. It's kind of an innocent kid talking to what he thinks is Santa Claus. It's a neat little scene.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's like interrupted. I look at it's interrupted, just kind of like real life kid stuff. Then he gets hit by a snowball and says, "I gotta go, Sam. Merry Christmas." He just hit the nail with the snowball, which don't we all?
Yeah. Oh
Just
god.
nail that Higsby kid with as many snowballs until he drowns by snow.
Drown him.
But also a scene I really love after this too. Another really good, the scene you just mentioned is that he's going off the clock because he's about to be switched out with another Santa Claus on the street corner. And it's this other Santa Claus who basically says, "Oh, hey, Fally, I'm here to relieve you. You have any kids?" As you just said. So he himself has a few. Says, "Yeah, he got some kids."
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. And he says, Merry Christmas, Fally. I just love the idea of like these two guys who are dressing up as Santa Claus, having pleasantries, talking about the family. It's a little simple thing. I like it though.
Yeah.
And I guess it's also getting Fally thinking about actually, fulfilling that little wish he promised to Hoodsey.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure.
Maybe I should visit the family this Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
Okay, so we're back at the school. I believe this is where we get the split-second Miranda and Courtney cameo.
Yeah, we pan through the classroom. We see they're posing for a picture. Everyone's like exchanging gifts and stuff. I guess we see that hippie teacher there. I forgot her name, but
yeah, she's basically like a less fun version of the
Miss
recess teacher.
Yeah, Miss Grokey.
Yeah, like a down-to-earth, less fun version of that.
Yeah.
But anyways, she's talking with Dodie she's talking with Macy, and Macy's showing her the aunt, and oh wow, I can really see the resemblance, especially in the face.
Yeah, but also we should mention Ginger is talking to Dreidel Boy.
Dreidel Boy, is that his name?
I forgot what his name is, but it's pretty much. I forget if he is actually listed as Dreidel Boy in the credits. I don't know.
He's the best character since Cupcake Boy.
Well, no, no one can be Cupcake Boy, Tiki. Norman, hey!
Norman, hey, it's Norman Bates!
But anyway, back to Ginger. So also, I should mention this is a kind of a famous voice actor as Dreidel Boy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's Richard. Hopefully, I'm not mispronouncing his last name too much. Richard Horvitz. That's the voice of Billy from Billy and Mandy.
Oh, okay.
The voice of Daggett.
Oh.
From Angry Beavers, and voice of, most famously, among people, not myself, but most famously among people.
Daggett was Billy West.
Wait, what?
I thought Daggett was Billy West.
Hold a second. Well, I know he's Invader Zim, and I think Daggett's... No, I'm pretty sure this guy's also...
Oh.
Yeah,
well, this is something today.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Richard Horvitz's Daggett also.
Okay.
I'm like 90% certainty. I think it's him.
He kind of has a Billy West quality to his voice.
True. Well, think of it this way, because his most famous role is Invader Zim. I think if Invader Zim sounds like Daggett at all.
Oh, right.
That's where you're jumping off point. So yeah, the point is those are his three most famous voices. And
all right.
So he does the voice of Dreidel Boy, and
so Ginger and Dreidel Boy, Dreidel Boy.
Yeah, kind of a creative solution actually.
With Dreidel Boy at this point.
Well, no, he has a dreidel. Though. How is that offensive?
Oh God.
It would be offensive if we called him by his religion. We're just calling him by his prop.
Okay, so yeah, he's this is I guess this is like.
Fine, we'll call him the Dreidel Kid, okay? That's his PCs we're going to get. Dreidel Kid. Hello? Dicky. Hello? Sorry, folks. A little bit of technical difficulty would appear. I'm sure it will straighten itself out promptly and presently. At least I hope. In the meantime, let me see if I can take us through the scene. These bearings. So, as we said, the PC term now, Dreidel Kid. He had the little creative notion of he celebrates Hanukkah instead of Christmas, so he attaches his family photographs to his family tree photographs to a dreidel, which I think is really neat. You say what you will about about Hanukkah. The dreidel was always. There's a cool idea. It's the spinny top, but it's a square spinny top. I don't know. It's kind of a neat thing. But anyway, so you're basically exposing the Ginger. Why do I have to celebrate Christmas? And why do I have to make it? Wouldn't it be odd to do a Christmas tree when I'm Jewish? Basically make a a Dre love. That's a real creative solution. Ginger appreciates that. Essentially, the main message of this scene being she is talking about. She's talking about to the Dreidel kid here about the Jewish beliefs and particularly pertaining to Hanukkah, while Dodie is still kind of fearing the worst here, that she's becoming more and more distant with Ginger in terms of Christmas versus Hanukkah here. It's really Dodie's worst fear. She's like across the room, fearful as she's slowly walking over and she's seeing that Ginger's talking to this kid in depth about Hanukkah. And then kind of an uncomfortable scene where Dodie's saying, "Hey Ginger, you wanna come over to my house? You still plan on coming over to my house to trim the tree?" Again, odd. Appropriate, given that Ginger's talking to the Dreidel kid about the merits of having a Christmas tree when you're Jewish, so it's kind of some fun parallel there. The point is, Ginger kind of snubbed her, saying no, and I can't remember it myself for this. I don't know if I blocked it out or not, but I guess per Tiki's words, she specifically says, "Oh no, Dodie, I think it's against my religion," which is a little putting Ginger on a bit of a high horse, saying, "Oh, now I'm completely Jewish. Now I'm just 1/4 Jewish." It's a little much on Ginger's character. But Dodie, again, everyone's a little exaggerating this holiday special, which will cut a break because it's Christmas in July. Or it's the holidays in July, to be PC. So, essentially, Dodie overreacts, and she's like crying, going out of the room, saying, "Oh, this is my worst fear come true. You're distancing yourself from us." She runs out of the room, panics. I just love seeing it. I was looking for Courtney to do something this episode, and she notices her running out of the room, which is funny, and just Dodie overreacting. They play the over-the-top Hanukkah music, orchestrated Hanukkah music, well, which is funny. I was told by Ginger would always kind of play with the music during exits and entrances at times, which is funny. Anyway, I suppose moving on. Let's see. So our next scene would be, or me, I'm just going through my notes here. Let's see. So Santa Convo. Okay. So essentially, the main conflict between apparently Ginger and Dodie, and Ginger's whole arc at this point is that Ginger is kind of the old. Dodie specifically said, you're putting too much value in Hanukkah over the old traditions that you and I used to hold dear, pretty much. So basically saying, Ginger is basically kind of putting the new discovery of a side of herself she never really knew and she kind of regrets not getting in touch with, versus kind of the old traditions we all hold, that at least her and Dodie held dear for all the years past. So basically, Ginger's abandoning her friendly faith, if you will, in place of something she's unfamiliar with, which seems wrong to a lot of the other characters. And I gotta say again, Ginger's not really being fair to kind of what she's known true. At least not even giving much thought. She's just instantly going with Hanukkah. So it's kind of a flaw there.
Oh my God. Okay,
so I've basically taken us through the Dodie-Ginger confrontation here.
Oh, you rock. You rock.
So if you want to say something about it, basically I've just been just now.
Well, like I said, I just think it's ridiculous. It's just like Ginger's attitude is just like deteriorating every scene, and I think this is just the worst of it. She just gets so snobby with this scene.
So I pretty much said that Ginger, she's kind of putting the you still there?
Yeah.
Making sure. So I pretty much said that Ginger's kind of putting the new discovery over her old traditions, and that's Dodie's pointing out, saying, "You are becoming distant from me," and she runs out of the room in a huff.
Yeah, I mean, Dodie does freak out, but I mean, to be fair, like, Ginger is just, she's developing a really bad attitude about this whole thing, it's just ridiculous. It's like, tree trimming, really? That's the thing that's going to get you into a religious huff? Really?
However, to be fair, not about that, but I mean, she is going to at least start to come to a realization in the next scene following this, so this doesn't just go unpunished.
Very true.
So at least she learns a little something from this scene that, okay, well, my friend freaked out over this, so I got to be fair to both faiths here. So again, she's confronted with the new beliefs over the old beliefs, or the old traditions versus the new beliefs here. Mm. And the result of that being she wants to appease everyone. She wants to be uber PC about everything.
Yeah,
Which
that's for
results
sure.
in... Take us through.
So meanwhile, Macy, she walks up and she offers Ginger a cookie, and she's like, "I made one of each," and I believe it's a Christmas tree and a Star of David.
Yes, which is funny.
Okay, so then we quickly get a scene with Hoodsey and Carl, and they come to they come to a divide. It's very sad. They split up because they can't agree on the whole Santa thing.
You
They
know,
split up on a Wednesday.
I gotta say, something I really loved about the scene. First of all, Carl, he's working on a mistletoe prank, essentially working up a sensor that will deploy water whenever two people are kissing under the mistletoe.
Which will come back.
Certainly. But the other thing I love about the scene, it's almost like I'm just gonna say it because why not? Kind of a Breaking Bad type situation here. It's basically I love how professional they are about this partnership breakup.
Right.
Just saying that. Well, it looks like we've reached an impasse. And he says, yes, on a Wednesday this happened. It's kind of like a calm breaking up. Just they make it sound so dramatic too. Basically saying.
Yeah.
Basically, they're splitting up, and essentially, Hoodsey says, I'm warning you, like the Santa Claus warning.
Oh God.
Like you betrayed the name of Santa Claus or something, at least the wrath of Santa Claus can come upon thee or something. I forget exactly what he said, but it's saying a warning about Claus is what he said, pretty much.
Oh God. Okay, so then let's see. So then the next scene is
Ginger's revelation.
Yes, so she's divided on Christmas versus Hanukkah.
Literally.
Oh yes, and she brings up that the whole Dodie incident, and Carl, he has a funny line. He's like, I wouldn't trust those bishops. They're just plain weird.
Coming from Carl, that's a funny line.
Yeah. Oh God. So
they don't have rhythm.
I don't know. To tell you the truth, Ginger's still a little stir crazy with this. It's like her attitude approves, but I almost argue it's a little bit bipolar. Like now she gets into manic, like, oh my God, okay, so now we have to do Christmas. Can we do Christmas, Mom?
I think Ginger's attitude might be a little more acceptable had it started at this point.
Sure.
I'm saying had it started, perhaps barring the saying it's for religious reasons scene where let's say she embraces it on the project and then just kind of takes off from there after she sees Dodie's a little upset by it. Why not celebrate both holidays?
Mm-hmm.
If you go from that point forward, it might work a little better. And then the reason she's a little over the top would be because she's trying to appease everyone Christmas and Hanukkah. Make a little more sense, I guess.
Well, that is why she's over the top in the final act. But
well, certainly. But I'm saying if they had that as the main reasoning for her out of characterness.
Yeah, I hear you. But Lois, she has a really funny line. She's like, I don't care if we celebrate the 4th of July, just as long as your kids make up your mind.
Which is funny.
And then Carl throws in,
Kwanzaa.
May I offer Kwanzaa? It's the only holiday I feel that hasn't lost its cachet.
Which is funny, just the fact that Carl wants to celebrate Kwanzaa.
Oh, and he does.
He does.
Oh, God.
Dashiki.
Oh, God.
Dashiki. And essentially her, Ginger's idea of a name for this thing would be Even Steven.
Yes! Did she see the TV show?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure the TV show and this show were on right around the same time. It just
I think Even Steven was kind of wrapping up around this time, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Even Stevens had made its mark on pop culture.
Well, mind you, Seinfeld used the term Even Steven, but I think before Even Steven.
It still bugs me. It's still a poor choice of words. Not on Ginger's part. Like, it makes sense, like, for the character. It's just, like, for marketing purposes, I just have to laugh. Oh, God. Especially because they literally... Like, did they have to title the episode an Even Steven Holiday Special? Did they have to throw Even Steven into the actual title?
I don't know. That's kind of the crux of Ginger's arc in the episode, like Christmas versus Hanukkah for her, so I guess it applies there.
Yeah, but what about, Carl's Christmas wish or something like that,
I don't know. It's like I think Ginger started the episode off, so it has to be Ginger's title, I guess.
I actually kind of beg to differ. I actually kind of
look,
think that Carl is the A story.
I'm with you. I don't know.
Maybe
I'm with
that's just because it's so compelling, and Ginger stuff is so, annoying. But,
I think it's because Ginger stuff gets more screen time than Carl stuff. Carl stuff is the most powerful.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyway, so let's see. So yeah, he calls it Even Steven. I mean, like Seinfeld was like a gag where Jerry breaks Even Steven, so essentially everything works out for him in the end.
Mm-hmm.
He loses something, but then he gains it back. So Even Steven.
Oh, okay, I hear you. Right on.
Okay, so let's see. Continuing forward. Go ahead.
So yes, so we don't really get much of an in between. It's like Ginger, she declares this, and then next scene, boom, it's Christmas at the Fatleys or Even Steven holiday.
Then she explains it's literally divided down the middle, so there's a table.
Yeah, literally okay, so we're gonna have a quarter for Hanukkah, quarter for Christmas,
and the rest of it
will be for our guests, regardless of religious preference. Yeah. Oh God.
I love in the performance. You can tell that she's playing up kind of the, I guess, bipolarness, if you will. At this point, she's on edge.
That's what I got out of it. But
you can tell that she's. I think the main thing is you can tell she's kind of a ticking time bomb with panic.
Right.
That she seems a little overly peppy. It seems a little strange for the Ginger character, but.
Oh yeah.
Ginger doesn't really get happy all that much, and you really think about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
she gets happy at times, but usually it's kind of a build of passiveness.
Right.
Something usually majorly good, it has to happen for her to get happy.
Sure. She's greeting people at the door, Merry Christmas, or Happy Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, if you prefer.
Yeah, I think she offers him a cookie, too.
God, yeah. And, so, Dodie, she sees how into it Ginger is. She's like, oh, God, this is going to be harder than I thought. We see Dwayne the garbage guy flirting with the teacher.
We should mention that Dwayne actually he saved them in decorations because he found a tree at the last minute.
He got the tree. Yeah,
not the
and
best.
Also, it's kind of another Christmas trope. We got to have Christmas Eve at the last minute, or Christmas at the last minute, and it's Christmas Eve. Oh no!
Yeah, Christmas with the cranks.
Oh yes. Oh God. All right,
actually, a new Christmas trope we have in this episode would be the family member coming home for the holidays.
Yeah, indeed.
Speaking of which, we see Jonas mulling the decision over out in the truck.
Yeah, really good stuff. It's I feel like the Jonas character is just played really realistically.
Oh yeah.
And okay, so. So Carl comes out in his Kwanzaa attire. You want to talk about this scene? Oh God.
Yeah, he comes out in the Kwanzaa get-up, and at first you think, oh, this is gonna bomb, but no, he plays he sings a Kwanzaa song. He plays on the funky keyboard.
He plays a smooth jazz rendition of Jingle Bells that's filled with insults.
Yeah. And apparently the crowd loves it.
That to me kind of threw me off. I was like, really? The crowd's that into it? I mean,
maybe it's because they don't understand Kwanzaa. Maybe that's it. I think, okay, that's traditional Kwanzaa right there for you, I guess.
So Hoodsey and Carl, they make up, and Hoodsey's like, well, yeah, Carl, I'd rather, I don't care about the whole not believing in Santa Claus.
I love how this so nonchalantly he does, he's while he's all dressed up and basically saying, oh, Carl, I don't care anymore. I mean, I can't stand to be in here. Let's, I want to hang out with my buddy.
Yeah, and he's like, besides, what else am I going to do? Hang out with my mom all night?
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see. Do we have a scene between Dodie and Ginger?
Well, I mean, I might be thinking of later. I thought there was a point where Dodie either feels guilty about what happened, and then Ginger says, "You're the reason for this, Dodie, because you gave me the idea. You split Christmas and Hanukkah, so I wouldn't anger anyone."
Oh, okay.
So.
And then we go outside. Darren gets his one thing to do in the episode. He's helping Carl with a particularly inappropriate Christmas decoration. It's
thanks to Dwayne. Oh, and you
yeah.
mentioned that Dwayne was like flirting with the teacher on the inside too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne the garbage dump guy.
Hey, baby, you at the garbage? I'm Dwayne. I'm the garbage guy.
Yeah, and
Kisses her
Dwayne
hand.
with the white powdered donut stuff on his hand. And anyways, yeah, Dwayne's usually Carl's go-to guy for the materials for his diluted schemes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so let's see. So then the sign is pretty much it's a reindeer, pretty much like it's I assume a bar sign. It's a reindeer making some yellow snow.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
And I don't buy, by the way, what's about to happen as a result of the reindeer.
Yeah, I hear you. I
don't buy
the
that.
fire definitely comes out of nowhere, but
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes out of the Hanukkah candles.
Right.
I'm saying I don't see the short circuit's going to cause a fire like that. So I'm fully saying it's the candles, and they're just trying to be passive-aggressing Hanukkah as the root of evil. I'm saying they're not saying that by saying it's a power outage.
Oh. So Hoodsey, he's continuing to get into the sort of Santa debate with Carl, and Hoodsey's like, Darren, does Santa exist?
Yeah.
And Darren, I love this line. He's like, Darren, it's like he doesn't have anything to do, but god damn it, he still delivers a poignant line.
No, first of all, he says Carl's sick for coming up with that sign.
Well, yeah. You are sick, Carl. But then the good line he has is, to my knowledge, not only is Santa real, but he's sitting in that pickup truck in your driveway.
Then Carl hits him with the bomb of truth.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
That's a good delivery on Carl here, saying, that's not Santa Claus. That's my dad.
I'd recognize that pickup truck anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. So,
Then he walks over.
Yeah. This is it's just so emotional. It really is.
And I love how hard he is on his father, too.
He is, yeah, deservedly so, and like the father says, he deserves it, so,
and the father's saying.
So the father, he's like, Carl, he's surprised that Carl just walks up, and he's like, well, he's kind of taken it back, and he's just like, well, get in. And Carl, he says, very coldly, he's like, oh, well, I'd get in, except my mother always warned me about getting in the car with strangers.
Oh, yeah.
and then... he's just like, ouch. Well, I guess I deserve that. And it's like, yes. Yeah, you kind of do.
And we should probably say, from what I understand, again, it's been a while, you might be more well-versed than I on this, but from what I understood, he was with Carl for a few years before he left, and he kind of abandoned the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the reasoning is.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Did they have an episode that was devoted to that?
They did. They did.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they explained it. I just know there's an episode where you see what his life is like. He has like an apartment with a dog.
I mean, they could explain it about as well as they explain Fonzie's father in the Happy Days special that we'll get to. Oh, he's a fisherman in Singapore. That explains everything. Oh, God. But anyway.
It was on trout. Anyway.
So, this conversation, man.
Essentially, our guy's kind of a deadbeat dad, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's just filled with just real bitterness on Carl's end, and the dad, he's doing the best he can. He's like, here, I got you a present, and the present is it's a vending machine full of peanuts, and Carl informs him that he's
violently allergic to peanuts.
Violently allergic. I love that terminology. Violently allergic.
Saying if I eat it, my throat will swell up. And first of all, it's the thought they can't. Literally, if I eat one of these, my throat will close up. Okay, maybe the thought wasn't that good.
Yeah. And then Carl's like, well, I can dump out the peanuts, use them for something else. I must say, I'm also allergic to peanuts, so I can totally sympathize with Carl.
I gotta say, though, I just saw that thing. Again, I'm not allergic or anything, but I just don't like them. But
yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
But I do like the little vending machine idea. I love how he sells it. Yeah, he coins or anything for you. But they have the stuff in there. You turn the thing. I like that. It's a nice gift idea. Just if you had something better in it.
My favorite little detail in this scene is when the father thanks Carl for coming up with a different thing to use the present for.
Yeah.
He very meekly, he's like, oh, well, thanks. I don't know. It's just, you know, he's just so meek and he doesn't know what to say, and it's just realistic.
I like how he technically doesn't apologize for leaving. He's just there now.
Right, yeah. And
I love his line where he says, "Your sister's not allergic to picture frames, is she?"
Oh.
He says, "No." Oh, that's good.
And so he's like, "Well, house looks nice. You know, it's got a glow to it. Almost looks like it's on fire."
So this heartwarming family moment is interrupted by flames!
Your house is on fire, Carl!
Santa to the rescue!
Oh, God. So he grabs a hose, everyone's running out, and he bursts in, and he's on his way. He
douses everyone with water,
yes.
putting the fire out. And it's a funny entrance for him, basically, then Lois saying, Jonas! Oh, hi, Lois.
He calls him Father Christmas.
Oh, right. It's
Father
funny.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's it. It's funny. Father Christmas saves all.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And poor, I like how Ginger, then she's trying to warm up to the father. I guess she's a little more nice to the father than Carl.
She definitely. I mean, the thing is, it's probably like Ginger's a little older, so she probably is more understanding towards whatever circumstance it is.
No, I mean, she had more time with him.
Exactly.
Not much.
Yeah.
Not much, but still a little more time than Carl.
Sure. And also, just really quick before I pass it up, I really love the line from the father while he's in the car with Carl, and Carl's like, "Oh, you're looking very Santa Claus-y." And
he says, "You look very much like Santa Claus."
and the dad pulls off his beard and he's like, "Well, yeah, it's just a part-time gig when I'm not playing Superman." I didn't think it was funny at all. I actually thought that line was rather sad. Because
it is sad, but
because Carl's just like, yeah, sure. Because it's just such a half-hearted attempt to like look cool in the eyes of your son.
I mean, this is like Lilo and Stitch level stuff we're getting here.
Right. Oh, God.
But anyway, so I love how Ginger's trying to feign some enthusiasm, but then saying, not feign, since she has some enthusiasm for the father, and she's trying to show him like all the cool stuff they had set up with the Hanukkah table and the tree. Basically, it's all burned to shambles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a Hanukkah table. There's a Christmas tree. Oh, and you feel bad for Ginger a little.
Yeah, and she basically starts to break down and cry, and
then the friends comfort her. Basically says, just trying to be, and she literally says she's trying to be. She was so worried about being PC, essentially.
I like how she actually uses the PC terminology.
So I like how this is basically her. Essentially, I guess I'm wondering if Ginger counts as a Scrooge here. In fact,
as a what?
I'm trying to think if Ginger actually counts as a Scrooge now I'm saying this.
I don't think so, because she does have holiday spirit. It's just misplaced.
It's misdirected.
Yeah, it's Carl that just straight up does not have the holiday spirit.
So essentially, one of the main messages of the special is literally expounded by Ginger, which I think is funny, basically saying, I'm so worried about being PC, essentially clouded the meaning of Christmas, and just being together, you guys celebrating something.
Yeah.
And then they forgive her, and then Ginger comes to grips. Yeah, just 1/4 Jewish doesn't need to change who I am. Yeah, morals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, we see Lois and Lois tries to thank Father Christmas because they're both under the mistletoe, and as Jonas is getting closer, Carl tries to stop him, and then Ginger stops Carl from warning him. And then they get doused by water, and then just from off screen you hear Lois. Carl!
Oh, yes.
That's scary.
Yes. Okay, so then our last scene.
I'm saying, why is she really all that mad? I mean, they're already wet. Come on.
That's true.
I'm just saying, you're a little harsh, Sean. I mean, the guy did leave him.
Right.
I mean, he's the only one that didn't get doused by water, really.
Yeah.
Just saying, now everyone's even. I don't see what she's so upset about. It's the holidays, too. I mean, come on, cut him a break.
It was like an Alvin type gag, though, so cut her.
Alvin! Christmas time is here. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so we get this nice little end scene with Hoodsey. Really quick thing to note, I really like how the music syncs up with Hoodsey kind of jumping down the stairs. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's just kind of a cool detail I noticed. You know, just a small little thing, but I thought it was very, very cool. And
Hoodsey
I guess.
Hoodsey opens his gift from Carl, wrapped in newspaper, and it's the
Mhm.
can opener, which is a nice gesture, kind of a peace gesture.
Yeah,
And also a
and
note saying, "You were right, Hoodsey. That maybe there isn't Santa Claus in the way we think there is, but maybe you're not right. He did grant my wish, if anything."
sure, sure. And then the last scene of the episode, Hoodsy's like, well, if
Hoodsey
Carl's
gets
wish
his,
came true, maybe baby mine will too.
or another name for this scene, Hoodsey gets his groove back.
Oh God.
Essentially, Hoodsey finds that he has the gift of rhythm, which it'd be nuts to turn that on. You wake the parents up and everything, but apparently they didn't show that.
Yeah,
So he's
that's
turning on the
I didn't
music
think
and
about that, yeah.
he's dancing, and so apparently he got the gift of Gene Kelly.
Oh God.
So essentially, no, in all seriousness, he gets the gift of rhythm apparently,
Oh.
and he's dancing and he's doing little fancy moves, and that's the end of our special.
Okay, so that was As Told by Ginger, an Even Steven holiday special. So what are your final thoughts on this, Blue Dragon 5?
It's not bad. It goes by relatively quick. It got some interesting kind of grounded character dimension, particularly with Carl's storyline. The real father, the father that walked out on him. The father who walked out and you try and make some peace around the holidays, kind of feed into what I like about the holidays, and feeding into what Lois thinks about the holidays, particularly that it's just the time. Doesn't have to be about religion, particularly. It's just about, again, just being together, just kind of basking in that times of peace around the holidays, and that's what it involves this episode, really, of a former family member trying to make peace. So trying to get the whole family together, and that's what actually started Ginger's story about families and family trees.
Mm-hmm.
So it does kind of tie together. So the father's an integral part of the story. It's kind of a shame they didn't show where the picture frame went.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, later, I believe they do buy it back, and the next time he appears, basically Ginger has the picture frame hung somewhere.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Huh.
Anyway, so there is kind of a sad thing in that episode too. There's a line I think of her saying, "I couldn't find any pictures of you, only your feet."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh God.
Anyway, so
yeah. So overall, my thoughts on the episode. It's like I'm a big defender of this show. I think people are kind of coming down a little too hard on it. I agree with you to a certain extent about the designs, but.
That's my major. That'd be my major turnoff about it. And sometimes,
I just play the card that the characters are meant to be awkward, so it makes sense that their look is a little awkward. I don't know. That's my defense. I see where you're coming from. I definitely do. It's definitely not the most aesthetically pleasing designs in the world, but I think stylistically, I also see where the artists were coming from.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hit or miss. It's more so taste things. I mean, it's not bad. It's just
Sure.
Not my take.
But yeah, overall, I mean, this is just a really grounded Christmas special. That's the word that keeps coming to mind for me, because it's it's really not over the top about anything, except maybe Ginger's behavior regarding the whole half Jewish.
Yeah, that's the weakest part of the episode. Her her change, and basically our characters are a little overly exaggerated, with the exception of Carl and Hoodsey.
Yeah, but the Carl and Hoodsey storyline is so strong, and everything just gets wrapped up so much that it's a really strong one. I think it holds its own.
The other factor of the Christmas form. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think the Ginger stuff dates it slightly, but I think the stuff with the father more than makes up for it.
Oh yeah, I think that's the real thing people remember about the special, if anything.
Oh, most definitely.
I know when you mentioned the Ginger Christmas special, that's what I do remember, the father in the Santa suit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In that scene within the truck, that's what I mainly remember. But
sure.
Yeah, in terms of the Christmas format, we got another thing that might be reappearing now and again. The idea of celebrating the other holiday, celebrating Hanukkah of sorts.
Oh yes, that's definitely something that comes back with Rugrats for sure.
Oh yeah.
So that's one that we're kind of holding off on, but we'll definitely get to it. And yeah, so tomorrow on Christmas in July, what are we going to be taking a look at, Blue Dragon 5? This is kind of more your territory.
We're going to infinity and beyond, am I right?
Oh yes.
Yes, we are. We're going to space, folks. And we're going to see how one of the most beloved, iconic characters that was born in my favorite Pixar film spends the holidays. That's right, folks. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the Christmas special, the holiday.
Yeah, this is a show that didn't even get a proper DVD release, so
It's only 2 seasons.
Yeah, so it's a bit on the obscure side, so I'm kind of excited to go into it. It kind of fits with the spirit of Christmas in July, and that Buzz Lightyear is certainly not the first thing you think of when you think of Christmas specials. But you say it's a good one, right?
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's definitely fun. You'll definitely enjoy it. But something important. It's actually the only Pixar show to ever. I mean, they're not really tied into it a lot, but I mean, it's stemming from their creation, and they approved it. But it's technically the only Pixar-related TV show that's ever been made. So again, that's untapped potential for Pixar. They have no TV series.
Is it also the only Christmas-related Pixar thing that's ever been made? Come to think of it.
Well, let me think. Well, again, technically, the only time we've ever had a hint of Christmas in Pixar ever
was Toy Story.
And we've only gotten 2 Christmas references in all of Toy Story. It's the main one being the end of the first movie.
Right.
And then in Toy Story 3, where we have a mention to the Christmas decorations box.
Sure.
And literally, that's about it. If you want to really stretch, there's been like a little holiday teaser with Monsters Inc., where basically Mike's dressed like Rudolph.
Yeah, right. There was never a car short or anything that was Christmas.
I don't think so.
That's surprising to me. I mean, they are making a Toy Story Christmas, right?
I mean, there might have been a promo, if anything. But I doubt that.
So
still, I mean, it's untapped.
Interesting. It's like you'd think that Pixar would come out with more Christmas stuff, but no, this is basically the only full-length Christmas Pixar thing that exists. So
well, I'm saying particularly, I just want to see Pixar tap some TV show potential.
Yeah, definitely. That also sounds like it'd be. I'd argue that if they're gonna continue the Toy Story formula, I'd much rather see. I think a TV show would actually make sense for Toy Story. But in regard, that's a direct years.
They need to put the money behind it. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this episode.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. The episode is simply titled "The Holiday." I have never seen an episode of Buzz Lightyear Star Command before, so Blue Dragon 5, you'll kind of have to take me through it a little bit.
Yes, but I know my favorite episode's the Old West episode, but where Buzz Lightyear literally gets to become a cowboy for an episode.
Oh, wow. Sounds appropriate. All right, but in the meantime,
and Ricardo Montalban's in that episode, too. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
I know. And he's the bad guy, just like Freakazoid.
Okay, so with this episode, we got a couple more traditions added to the mix of the Christmas formula. We got the Hanukkah stuff, which I don't believe has been really brought up all that much before in other specials we reviewed, and then we've got the family coming home for the holidays. So overall, our little pot of Christmas formula, it's cooking, it's going along,
And I guess just doing the holiday traditions also, that's another one.
And so that's, right. And that's the point of Christmas in July, really, is, we're taking a look at all these holiday specials back to back to back, we're overloading on them. Specifically because, not just because it's fun to do them in an inappropriate time, because it's just fun to get into the holiday spirit, half a year early. But particularly we feel like there is a scientific process behind these Christmas specials, and gosh darn it, we're gonna find it.
How are we gonna do that, Tiki?
We're gonna do that by putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la.
Yeah. See you guys later.
See ya.